What's going on, everybody? Happy Labor Day. And first of all, I've spent some time messing around. My thumbnail game is absolutely terrible because I rarely use them unless I get somebody to make them for me. So I was messing around. This is probably a D minus thumbnail for this one, but hey, it is what it is. It's only up from here. So I made the comment in videos multiple times over the last month or so, where it feels like Pokemon has completely changed their reprint strategy, where we're no longer getting massive dumps of booster boxes. We're no longer getting massive dumps of ETBs, which we haven't in the past. I guess we're now getting some ETBs, but we're not getting a lot. There's maybe 125,000 ETBs coming out, best guess, across all of distribution, probably a little bit less. And Surging is going to be lighter than Twilight, or so I'm told. But it's interesting because there's an argument, or I shouldn't even say an argument, a debate right now, whether it's better for Pokemon to push through big box stores where you have a fixed basis price, but you have limited access to the product. So as I've mentioned before, on paper, it looks great, but with all the butters, scalpers, folks that are more motivated to get product at the MSRP plus price that all big box stores charge now, it's tough as a normal person to get product, walk in and get product, because chances are it's all gone. However, this does allow the product to remain relatively strong. It puts a floor on the product because there's no race to zero, because that basis is set at a price that the market is going to take. If you flip that on its head and you look at the distribution route, part of the reason for the massive swings in the past are we've seen a large amount of booster boxes going to distribution, distribution selling boxes for initial release a little bit more. This is in the past, not recently, because recently distribution has really, really jacked up the prices to capture some more of that margin. Now, theoretically, Pokemon Company could be charging more to distribution. I don't know if that's true or not. I tend to think that's not true. But if it is and you know it is, feel free to comment. It would be great to know that price. But to my knowledge, it is always the same price coming from the Pokemon Company. What's happened in the past is if a box is selling for just say $140, and distribution price is $95. Distribution sells to LGSs, LGSs who are literally the worst business people on the planet. Generally speaking, they like games, they like playing games, they are not super business savvy. The first thing they will do is they will race to zero to sell the product and make $3, $5, $10 on the box, and that will push the price to basically distro price. And that's what we saw for the longest time in 2023, 2024. We've seen it with Magic forever, up until recently with the print runs getting cut, and then the Amazon direct-to-consumer. But what the Pokemon companies really has to balance is, do you want to push more product through distribution, try to hold their feet to the fire so they are selling as a true distributor, and then put the fate of the market in the hands of LGSs, which are business incompetent? Or do they go the big box store route where, look, you have more profit margin, you're cutting out a middleman, you have a base floor price that everybody's basis is, so you're actually stepping up the value in the market. The downside is it is less efficient and it takes more manufacturing time to make said product. So what I decided to do was to look at the release schedule. And this is the non-standard release, the ancillary products in 2024 and 2025. And I tried to match up the slots and tried to see how well they intermingled, knowing that the first part of 2025, this is actually 2025. I don't know why I did this. I'm sorry, 2024. Generally speaking, it matches up quite well, except for when we get to the back half. So I didn't include Q1 of 2024. Quite honestly, it matched up very, very almost exactly with 2025. So I started with Q2 in Q2. So we have the Iono's Premium Tournament Collection, the Lily's Premium Collection. They both came out in April, 6 packs. This is the milk carton with some cool promos. It's actually a nice product. The next one, we have the Armorogue EX Premium Collection. They couldn't give these away in 2024. We had the Cynthia Garchomp EX Premium Collection, which sold out relatively quickly in 2025, but still 6 packs, very similar. Then you have the Paradox Clash tins versus the Slashing Legends tins. These are the 5-pack tins with the 3 different iterations. Good match. Palafin EX versus Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Now that may seem like it's an unfair comparison, but Palafin versus the set that came out in 2024 in May. May was Twilight, I believe, with Temporal before that in January, February, March, whenever Temporal was. I think it was February. Versus Team Rocket's Mewtwo, which came out with Destined Rivals. I mean, it is a very, very similar product in a very, very different area and time frame in Pokemon. Then we have the end of June or July. We have the Dark Powers EX Special Collection and the Charizard EX Special Collection. Now, the Charizard EX Special Collection was supposed to come out a little bit sooner. That got delayed. So, this isn't a perfect match time frame wise, but it's relatively close. Then we go to September. We have Paradox Destiny's tins and Team Rocket tin. Same product. Charizard EX Super Premium Collection, which was the giant square that for some reason is still not back to MSRP in this market. I've compared that to the Prismatic Premium Figure Collection. Now, what I did do is I left the EX boxes and the ancillary products that are specific to the main sets or specific to like your Shrouded Fables, your 151s, your Paldean Fates, except for the Premium Figure Collection, because this is a new item and it is literally named the same as Charizard, the Charizard EX. I mean, it's a new configuration in the box itself. So this to me was close enough, even though it's all prismatic packs, to lump the two together. And then we have the Houndstone EX box, the Mega Latias, both 4 packs. We have the Terapagos UPC and the Moltres UPC. Now, there's obviously you don't see the Charizard UPC on here. We'll get to that in a second. And then you have the Collector's Chest. So the Collector's Chest is the year-end, the Fall Collector's Chest. There's also a Summer Collector's Chest, otherwise known as a Back-to-School Collector's Chest. So this matches up very well. So it looks like for this part of the print run, or the print schedule, they took what they did in 2024, they figured out how to best fit it into the calendar for 2025, and they put it together. So this is where the difference comes in. So in 2025, they removed 2 slots. They removed an EX box in April, and they removed the Collector's Chest. This is the back to school. Printed in 2024, didn't in 2025. But look at all this. These are all new items that are new print slots in 2025. So we have 5 different 10-pack EX boxes. So when I say that they've completely changed their model on how they're reprinting, they're printing these in bulk, and they're not printing booster boxes. And quite honestly, they're really not printing that many booster bundles either now. Now, they printed a lot of booster bundles earlier in the year of older sets, but they're not doing that now. So the Mask of Ogerpon, I believe this was a store exclusive. And the other thing that's interesting is there's some exclusives in here. I think the Venusaur and Blastoise is a GameStop exclusive. The Blaziken and Volcanion is an Amazon, I think. But again, there's 10 packs and they're all different. So Massive Ogerpon, I believe, is Twilight and Temporal. Venusaur and Blastoise is, oh my God, is it Stellar and Twilight? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Blaziken is Surging Sparks, and I'm not sure what the other one is. But we go to Salamence and Reshiram, and again, this is a store exclusive. This is Destin and Surging Sparks. This and Masks of Ogerpon. Distribution got a ton of these. Now, the Hydreigon and Dragapult. I don't know much about this. I'm assuming this is another store exclusive. But the fact that they're doing a large amount of these and they're trying to disperse them to all these different areas, it seems like they're trying to keep everybody happy, right? And we know we're getting the premium collection, not the prismatic premium collection, but we're getting the other big 11 packs or 12 packs or whatever it is that's going into into Costco or Sam's, that's basically the Sea and Sky box. Didn't really touch on that because that's no different than Sea and Sky for last year. So I kind of kept that one out. But we have all these 10-pack boxes that didn't happen last year. And the fact that there's so many different configurations and different printings, it's super, super interesting. Now, from a manufacturing perspective, if they're printing the packs, that's fine. Stuffing each one of these shouldn't be overly complicated. It's really just feeding different products into the same machines for all of these. So the manufacturing this should be scalable. So we have the Mega Heroes mini tins, and normally we don't get mini tins for standard sets. And these tins have a pack of Mega Evolutions and a pack of Destined Rivals. Supposedly, haven't seen them yet. I'm sure there's a video of somebody having it fall off a truck and opening it. Haven't seen that, but this is what is in the picture on all the distribution sites at Pokemon Center. So I treat this as new because this is really out of the ordinary. Then we have the Mega Lucario EX figure collection. This is not something that they did last year. And then we have, this is where it gets really, really batshit crazy. So we have the Pokemon tins, and that doesn't mean there isn't going to be other products that come out in December. Last year, last product was 11/15. So the fact that they're even going into December this year is really, really interesting. Because from what I understand, after Thanksgiving, Pokemon's done for the year. And then they come back in January. And again, we have theoretical confirmation from PokeBeach, but we haven't seen the Moltres or the Charizard UPC show up at distribution yet. The fact that they're doing two Ultra Premium collections at the same time, presumably with the same release date, is really, really interesting. And if you guys looked at the mock-up of the Moltres, it's 18 packs, and it looks like it's packs from every single whole number / standard set in the Scarlet and Violet era, so 1 through 10. It looks like it's 2 packs of each, presumably 1 pack of SV Base and 1 pack of Paldea Evolved. Again, this is just looking at a blurry picture and trying to figure out what's there. I could be off a little bit. But if they're doing that, and then they're doing the Charizard UPC, these are giant boxes that they're able to sell at a premium to booster bundles or booster boxes. It's also a much wider net. Some of the other pros, again, it puts a floor on the product. You're not getting booster boxes out there. These guys are coming out. The cons are it's the supply chain is still garbage because botters can get it. Pretty much anybody who wants to hustle can get product unless it goes through distribution. In which case there is a normal, ordinary course of allocation among stores and shops and things like that. And then I don't know if this is a pro and a con, because if you dump a ton of this product at distro, you're going to have the shitty businessmen, LGS owners race to zero on a lot of the products. So you're going to get some more price relief by pushing more product to LGS than you would if you were pushing it out to your big box stores. Because again, you sell an ETB in Walmart for $55. That person's basis is $55 plus whatever tax they paid. You sell that ETB to distro and it gets sold to a store at $31. Now you have a giant, is that $23 or $24 air pocket where the LGS owner can continue to cut the price to get it down to something that makes sense. And really in that situation, the only people that make money are the platforms like TCG Player. Because again, store owners don't always make the best decisions. So I'd say it would be interesting to see what they do, but it's clear what they're doing. They are taking what used to be booster box reprints and they're repurposing that to print these EX boxes. And they're printing EX boxes in multiple different iterations with different packs to get as many packs as possible out into the market. Now, what we're not seeing outside of theoretically in the UPCs, we're not seeing packs from SV Base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, or Paradox Rift. All of these are starting with Temporal Forces, which again, unless they're going to dump a surprise large amount of booster boxes on all of us, which would be phenomenally great, I'm guessing that the reprints for all those are done, and they've already moved on. When when Surging Sparks is the 6th highest priced booster box in Scarlet Violet, and they're moving on to a next set, you can no longer fix the problem. It has spread to the entire industry. $250 a box is the new norm. There is no going back to 100, 120, probably not even MSRP. You can't print enough to get there. It's just not possible. And the reason why it was even remotely possible in the past was because there were a lot of garbage sets that people didn't want. There hasn't been a bad set since maybe Stellar Crown. And that depends on your definition of bad. Surging was great. Journey Together was great. Whether you like it or not, it was a great set. A small set, but it was a great set. Destin was great. Prismatic was great. Now, Black and White, it's okay. Not a huge fan, but it's selling. And it's 2 sets, so it takes twice the printing to get everything done. You can't scale the 2 because they're completely independent set lists, other than just printing the packs and packaging. Now you have Mega 1, which is going nuts. You have 2 UPCs. You have all these EX boxes. They're not printing booster boxes. It is clear looking at year over year that they've changed their strategy and they're going down this path. And this is why we're not seeing booster boxes and why we're not seeing booster bundles. So anyway, I thought this was really, really eye-opening. If I missed an item or two, feel free to add it in the comments. Quite honestly, this tells you all you need to know.